Welcome to episode 42 of Talk Tantra to Me. It is such an honor to be holding space for this divine knowledge to make its way into your ears and lifestyle. Today, I'm going to be guiding you through a solar plexus chakra meditation focused on igniting the fire within you, connecting to your purpose and to your passion, and letting go of anything that is standing in the way of you fully embodying these aspects of your divine being. So chakras, just to review, are subtle energy centers located along a central channel in our bodies. There are 7 main chakras running from the base of the spine up through the crown of the head, and each is associated with a different aspect of our being. Understanding these chakras may help you identify where you have energy blocks or shadow work to be done, including things like lingering fears, shame, guilt, trauma that's holding you back, keeping you stuck in a past experience in a reactive state. Once you're able to see, where these energy blocks are in your chakra system, you can work through them for a more liberated and expansive experience. So that's kind of the overview of chakras, really big part of the tantric lineage and other Eastern lineages such as yoga, breath work, etc. So I'd like to go in a little bit more and chat about the solar plexus chakra. Before I do so, also want to just encourage you to listen to episode 6 of this podcast, which dives a lot deeper into looking at each of the chakras holistically as a part of a system, because this episode is really only going to be focused on the solar plexus, and we will be doing a meditation that's focused on that chakra. Also, before I get into talking about the solar plexus, I'd love to highlight the last episode of this podcast, the one just before this one, which is episode 41 with Amber Valdez, which is really about, bringing your purpose into your day-to-day life, sharing that with the world, and how it is your duty to show up in this way. So it's another great piece if you're really working in this space of the solar plexus. That being said, the solar plexus is the 3rd chakra. So we have the root chakra at the base. That's the first chakra. The root chakra is really responsible for feeling safe and secure. A lot of us have blocks here just because of, the way that our society is conditioned to live in fear, from everything from the news to, lack mindset with abundance and money. And even just many of us grew up in homes where parents were fighting, or we kind of felt like we needed to walk around on eggshells, or we just didn't feel like we could be ourselves or speak our authentic truth. But once you create, a safe space for yourself in the root chakra, especially into adulthood, then you start to create a reality that is based on, calling in the opportunities and experiences that are aligned with your deepest desires. And that's where we move into the sacral chakra, which is the 2nd chakra. So this is all about, again, emotional expression. It's energy and motion. And so every decision of our life is a reflection of our emotional state, right? So when we are, creating from a place of knowing that we're safe and our basic needs are met, then we feel safe to create paths for pleasure and also paths for pain that are learning lessons for us. And sometimes we're doing this consciously. Oftentimes we're doing it unconsciously, but ideally we get to the point that we're able to see these painful or frustrating or quote unquote negative experiences as opportunities to learn and grow. And when we start to do that, we start to see that we have this ability to co-create with our reality. We start to ask, what is this all for? And that is where that energy moves in to the solar plexus. What is this all for? Oftentimes we find, purpose in either, an ego, or in really connecting to our soul purpose, into this idea of what am I bringing to the world? What am I here to gift to this society? And what am I here to learn from? So the purpose and the ego truly live in the solar plexus. And ideally, there's spaces for this to be overactive and underactive, which I'll get into more. But ideally, we're living more out of, purpose rather than ego. And we can even make our ego become a employee of our purpose. What does that look like? So Ego is, it's a part of our humanity and it's not inherently bad. The solar plexus is deeply related to how we perceive that we are perceived by others. So how we are viewed by others and how we believe we're being viewed by others. And that's, deeply our ego, right? We want to be seen as, this incredible, beautiful, loving, abundant person oftentimes, right? And to each individual person, we have different desires for how we are perceived, especially depending on, our conditioning. Maybe a lot of this we get from, what our parents value, what our peers value. The media very much tells us what is in style and what makes you of value, right? And oftentimes very caught up in this idea of productivity, what I produce. My value is determined by what I produce, right? And, as we'll move into the heart chakra, which I've talked about in past episodes, we start to see that, we're inherently worthy of love and we begin to unconditionally give love to ourselves. But before we're moving into that, it's really about finding this purpose, right? But once we're able to find that purpose, we can actually use our ego to be in alignment with purpose. So a good example would be maybe, you want a nice fit body, right? You want to look good. And the purpose behind that could be, I know that if I go to the gym and I take care of my physical body, I'm going to be able to show up for my community, for my purpose, for my clients, so much more authentically and from a much healthier standpoint. That being said, I also enjoy looking good. And I know that if I look good, I'm going to attract people that also are in that resonance. And that's where the ego is actually an employee of the purpose. We're able to use the ego to help be in alignment with the purpose, to do what we need to do to live in purpose. Right? So the solar plexus is associated with the element of fire, and it is also a masculine chakra. When I talk about masculine and feminine energies, we all have masculine and feminine within us. And it's a matter of tapping into these various energies as needed and living in balance and creating an inner balance between these energies, and then allowing our external reality and our external relationships to be opportunities for us to experience the polarity of masculine and feminine. But again, we have these masculine and feminine energies within us. And, in Tantra, it's all about, finding this balance between the two. So when I talk about masculine energies, it's much more, I'll go back a step and say, feminine energies, talking about the sacral chakra, which is associated with water, it's very fluid, very much in flow, right? The heart chakra, which is associated with air, again, also just abundant and all around us. It's not something you can grab onto, right? Whereas, the root chakra, which is masculine and associated with the element of earth, is much more about, taking these elements of earth and making them into something. Like, it's all out there for you. Everything that you need to survive in this world is out in the earth, but it's not just there for you. You have to kind of go out and get it, right? And with, fire, it's something that you have to nurture. You have to continuously be feeding this, and you channel it and you use it to alchemize, right? So understanding, that aspect as well. And in the solar plexus, this is where our confidence lives as well. This is where we stand up for what we believe in. Again, our values, our family, the people that we love, right? A good way to visualize this chakra, even though it might be an imbalanced sort of representation, but imagine two men in a fight in the bar and they actually stick out this part of our bodies. If I haven't clarified already, the solar plexus is kind of in our rib cage. It's in the center of our core. It's, above our navel, but below our chest. Really in that center. And so, imagining these two men in a fight at the bar, standing up for what they believe in, maybe fighting over the woman they love, and they just kind of stick out this part of their bodies. It's that really big, it's our power center, right? It's where we are really displaying our sense of power and also our confidence. That being said, there are opportunities for underbalance and overbalance. And to have an underactive solar plexus would mean that you have no confidence, not being able to trust yourself, having a fear of making decisions, having a fear of truly pursuing your deepest desires, pursuing your soul purpose, right? And kind of the overactive space in this would be to be super egotistical, arrogant, to, kind of have this overactive confidence. That's kind of what an overactive would look like. Maybe being really negative, surly, just kind of unpleasant to be around. Sometimes the energy of a know-it-all, like proving themselves constantly. And you can see how these are like two sides of the same coin. And oftentimes, the people that feel the need to be the most like exuberant are actually super lacking confidence deep down. So you can see that there's an opportunity to flip-flop the two. And ideally we can, experience both ends, but then be able to say, I would like to ascend past this. I would like to experience confidence while also having, a note of like humbleness, and being able to trust my purpose to live in divinity from a place that I don't need to prove myself, but only because it is my duty to show up this way. Last thing I want to touch on before we go into the meditation is that this chakra is also associated with our digestion. Again, it's that fire in our being. And so people that might have an imbalance here might be suffering from things like, IBS, any digestive issues, really, Crohn's disease, colon, stuff, heartburn, things like that. So just being aware that, again, these energetic blocks that are occurring in our energetic system, if we're not taking care of our energetic body, this creates dis-ease, which can manifest as physical disease. And it often does. I myself have struggled a lot with confidence in my life and really jumping back and forth between the two ends of, the imbalances. And it's again, these chakras are things that we constantly are working through. It's not like you align one chakra and then it's good to go for the rest of your life. There are constantly going to be triggers and things that might put you a little bit out of balance. So just being aware of that and staying on top of your energetic body so that when things do, kind of step out of whack, you're able to be present with your body to see those signs and adjust accordingly and figure out what sort of coping mechanisms or tantric lifestyle is going to support you living in balance. And that's definitely something that I recommend to the listeners to incorporate this element into living, an expansive tantric lifestyle. And that is something that I do work with people one-on-one with, in my virtual mentorships, which I'll talk about a little bit more at the end of the meditation. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. So go ahead and take a moment to find a comfortable space. You can lay down on your back with your spine straight. You can sit up in hero's pose on your knees. Your bum on your feet. You can sit cross-legged or in lotus position. You can stand. Just taking a moment to settle into that position. Again, making sure that your spine is straight regardless of how you're sitting, standing, or laying. Rolling back your shoulders to open your heart space. Begin allowing your breath to come easily and naturally. Then consciously guiding your breath into your lower belly first. With each inhale, breathing into the lower belly, then inviting that inhale into the chest, then a nice slow exhale. Inhaling profoundly into the lower belly, and on your next exhale, make a sound or a sigh. Two more times, just like that. Returning to a normal breath pattern. Continuing to guide that air into the lower belly first in a relaxed way. On your next inhale, inviting in the energy of peace. Feeling peace flood through your body, funneling in at the crown of your head. Filling up each body part, coming all the way down, starting at the tips of your toes. Relaxing the arches of your feet and your ankles. Letting go of any tension in your calves and shins. Breathing peace up into your knees. Relaxing your quads and your thighs. Peaceful energy pooling into your pelvic floor. Sending peaceful energy into the base of your spine as it swirls up vertebrae by vertebrae. Each inhale welcoming in peace and calm. With each exhale, letting go of any tension in the body or in the mind. Relaxing your shoulders. Allowing that peaceful energy to trickle down your arms. Curving at your elbows. Relaxing your wrists. Peace in the palms of your hands and at the tip of each finger. Letting go of any tension in your neck. Relaxing your jaw and your cheeks. Bringing peace into your third eye space. Feeling that relaxation fill up your entire body as it begins to overflow at the crown of your head, coming into your auric fields, the space around you. Beginning to direct your attention to the solar plexus, in the center of your core, your rib cage. Feeling the fire of your being in this space. Connecting to your soul purpose. Becoming aware of the energy that you bring to the world. How you make people feel. What you're passionate about. How you use those passions to ignite your purpose. Our society and our conditioning leads us to believe that our purpose should be some grand discovery. Something that we need to find out. When in reality, our sole purpose is purely the energy that we bring to the world when we're fully present. It is who we are beneath layers of trauma, societal conditioning, and stories. In this way, our purpose is simple. We don't need to overthink it. Why would your purpose be a surprise or a secret to you? It is innately who you are, your whole self, beneath the layers to trauma, societal conditioning, and stories. In this way, it doesn't matter what you're doing. is the intention between your actions. This purpose can be channeled into our career, into our relationships, into each and every opportunity and obstacle we face. Just taking a moment to consider your soul, the impenetrable core of your being which transcends lifetimes. And considering why your soul chose this lifetime, this body, these opportunities, obstacles. What have you come here to bring to the world? What are you here to grow through or learn? It's taking a moment to allow yourself to be seen, feeling a bright flame like a sun in the core of your being, like a big bonfire in your solar plexus. Each inhale that you take, watching this flame grow just a little bit brighter. Each inhale charged with the nutrients that we need to continue being, which is the ultimate gift of the universe. Feeling this breath alchemized by your heart to be spread through your circulatory system, allowing this warmth to spread through your entire body. Each inhale feeding the fire of your true essence. Receiving these affirmations, you're welcome to repeat them aloud if they are in resonance with you, to supercharge their intention. I give myself permission to be my authentic self. I am motivated to pursue my true purpose. Everything I need, I have within. I am worthy of the life I say I want. I am ambitious and capable of whatever I desire. Now imagine that you have gathered a stack of little sticks. Each of these sticks represents something in your life that is no longer serving you. Something that you are in the process of letting go of or need to be. Acknowledging that the patterns that helped us survive up until now are just that. They are something to be celebrated because they brought you here to the person you are today. It's taking a moment to truly honor each of these elements that you're ready to let go, to feel gratitude for how they have served you, how they have helped you survive, and still acknowledging that the beliefs, the patterns, the stories, the reactions that have helped you survive are not the same ones that will help you thrive. It's taking a moment to see how these sticks, these elements, these patterns will fuel your future self, but once they are burned, they are let go. They're free. They do not come back as long as you wish to keep thriving. Remembering that some things must be let go of hundreds of times before we are truly free from them. Forgiving yourself in this process for letting go is one of the hardest things to engage with. But now taking a moment to place each of these sticks into your flame. One at a time, watching these patterns, these beliefs, these stories, these fears that no longer serve you, catch fire and burn. And as each stick is completely burned, Imagine that a gust of wind travels through your body and carries those ashes far away from you with each breath. Receiving and possibly repeating the following affirmations if they resonate with you and you'd like to supercharge the intention. I release myself from my past. I release myself from unserving beliefs and values. I release the need to control. I release judgment of myself and others. I forgive myself for past mistakes and I grow from them. Feeling that fire burning brightly within you, feeling so seen in this moment, so empowered as you welcome in your highest self. And taking a moment to observe your current life, current energy levels, your confidence, asking yourself objectively, letting go of any judgment or expectation, just asking yourself, do you have the energy to do the things that you want to do? Do you have the confidence to do the things that you want to do? And if not, what gets in the way? Oftentimes our energy is drained in one area of our life and we are left lifeless before the mountain of wonderful, enriching experience that life is meant to be. Just taking a moment to ground in, to think about what you need to do in this moment to fully claim your soul purpose, to step into it with confidence, setting the intention now to live in alignment with your soul purpose, asking for any guidance that you might need to truly pursue this journey. And gently welcoming some movement back into your body, checking in with whatever feels good for you. Maybe wiggling your toes and your fingers, giving yourself a hug or a nice full body stretch, anything that you need to really step in to the presence. I hope you enjoyed this meditation, that it's empowered you and excited you in the process of truly stepping into your soul purpose. There are depths of experience waiting to be discovered as soon as you decide to do the intensive work. As soon as you decide to do the work that's going to allow you to be aware of your limiting beliefs, your patterns, your shadow work, your fears, to really get in touch with what is keeping you from living the life of your dreams. It is really a matter of the cost of inaction, and that's not meant to scare you, but to only point out that doing this work is inevitable to live an expansive and abundant life that you deserve and likely deeply crave. Our dreams are for us, so why wait to claim them? Our intimate shadows and the current landscape of our subconscious minds manifest our reality. And when we work through these opportunities and challenges related to the most powerful energy in our bodies, that is our life force energy, our kundalini, our erotic energy, we begin to see that each element of our lives evolves grandly and our problems become our greatest tools for self-remembrance. And this is truly what it means to me to live a tantric lifestyle. And if you're interested in pursuing, this sort of lifestyle, there's, tons of other beautiful content on this podcast, on the interweb, in books, etc. That being said, fully committing and showing up in a container that's held by a coach is something that I definitely recommend, and it's something that I've done myself. And it's something that I would like to offer to you as well, to invite you into my space and into one of my, sacred intimacy virtual coaching containers. In these containers, I help you identify your limiting beliefs so that you can grow through them. We identify your highest truth, your deepest desires, your greatest opportunities for growth, your deepest challenges. And in that space, we focus on the Kundalini chakras, these 8 or 7 major energetic points in your body, to see where you may be housing fears, limiting beliefs, shame, guilt, or struck traumas, to liberate yourself and grow through it. I do use this chakra system as a framework, but my one-to-one mentorships are directly tailored to your needs. So we'll start with a free discovery call, and then I will suggest a framework that fits, again, your deepest desires, addresses your biggest challenges, and capitalizes on your greatest potential for growth. And if you are interested in this type of program, I do usually offer a free discovery call. You're welcome to apply for one at www.talktantratome.com, and then click the tab that says Work With Me, and you'll see some of my other offerings, including the one-to-one virtual mentorship. Thank you again. Want to express my gratitude to you as the listener for opening yourself up to the idea of sacred sexuality. And if this podcast resonates with you, I'd love to hear it in the reviews. It means the world to me to hear your perspective, and your reviews also help this podcast become a bit more relevant in search results, which means that more people are able to benefit from the wisdom of spiritual intimacy. If you'd like to take an even more proactive role in awakening the collective to sacred sexuality, I'd love it if you screenshotted this podcast and shared it on your social media. And if you do so, please tag me so that I can thank you personally. With so much gratitude and love, have a sexy and spiritual day, and I'll catch you next week on Talk Tantra to Me. Ta-ta!